So if you want to grow your small account when you're trading booming crash, today I got the best tips for you. Right. So first of all, what I just want to advise you guys is when you're growing a small account, you don't have to over leverage your account, right? So the first tip that I'll give you is make sure that you get as many entries, as many chances to enter as possible. So if you enter many positions, right, it will just ruin your chances for you to grow that account, because if the account blows with just one trade, you won't have enough time, you won't have enough room to grow that account, right? So entering just, let's say, just one position at a time gives you room that if that trade doesn't work out, you've got chances to enter even five or more, four more trades, right? Rather than just entering five positions at once, and if the account blows, it blows, right? So what I'm advising you is enter one position at a time. But how do you compensate for that? You are going to have to enter more positions. Sorry, not more positions, more times per day, right? So that you will be able to grow eventually, right? So what I'm going to be sharing here with you is just some basic concepts that we can use in order for us to, some basic concepts, some basic strategies that I use whenever I'm trading, right? So first of all, let me just talk about what zone flips at first, right? So that's the first trade that we will be using, because today I'm just giving you trades that appear most of the time, that appear frequently in the market, so that we get multiple entries for us to what, to grow that small account, right? So over here, what do I mean by zone flips, right? So we are in an uptrend, like this example over here, right? So when we are going up, we've got a pullback. As the market doesn't go straight, market pulls back from time to time, right? After that pullback, we break market structure again, right? So this over here, this is a minor what? This is a minor resistance over here, and when that minor resistance gets broken, it now acts as a support, right? So over here we mark this area, right? And if the market pulls back again to this area over here, that's when we'll be looking for our entries. It breaks past that point again, we mark this new resistance over here, and if the market pulls back to this area, we enter again, right? So that's what flip zones mean, that's what zone flips mean, right? That's the first confirmation, that's the first entry points that we'll be using, right? And if the zone flip doesn't work, most of the times when the market is pulling up again, right? So sorry, when the market is going up, right? So we've got something like this over here, right? So right over here, right? So let me just use yellow for this one, right? So the market is going up, right? It's got a pullback, right? And it goes up again. So maybe you've got the last red candle somewhere over here, right? Somewhere over here. Let me just use green. This is not clear, right? So right over here, right? So we've got the last red candle over here, though okay, last green candle, but I think you get the idea of what I mean over here, right? And let's say you've already marked your flip zone over here, right? And if the flip zone isn't respected, right, and the market breaks past, most of the times it will come to the area where that last red candle before the breaking market structure happened, right? So maybe it could be here or it could be here, right? It just depends. But those are the two levels that you want to mark first, right? So those are the two entries that we will be using for us to enter, right? So to aid in that, right, we're also going to be using the 50 moving average over here, right? So we've got the 50 moving average over here, right? 50 moving average exponential, right? Apply to close is the black one on my chart. Then I click OK, right? So if those two confluences, if those two entry points that I mentioned earlier coincide, right? If they coincide with this 50 moving average, that's when we're going to be taking our entry. That's when we're going to be entering, so that it's a major confluence trade, right? It's a we've got many confluences for us to enter that trade, right? So right over here, right? So let's take this for example, right? So let me just show you at first the zones that I was talking about, right? So over here, right, we've got, let me just first draw a little bit over here, right? We are in a downtrend, right? And the moving average, if the moving average is on top of the candlesticks, it means that we are in a downtrend, right? So it's a downtrend and you are continuously bringing the structure to the downside. Right over here, we made a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower, whatever. Yeah, the cycle just continues, right? So that's why we know that we are in a downtrend, right? So over here, when the market breaks, right? So we are in a downtrend, right? So right over here, the market creates what, this sort of like support over here, right? When the market breaks that point, right, and pulls back to that area, this is our zone flip, right? That's what we want to mark, right? So we take our horizontal line, right, and we mark this over here, right? We mark it before even the pullback starts happening, right? We mark it before the pullback starts, right? And after we've marked this zone over here, right, we just wait for the market to spike, right? And after the market spiked, as you can see, it tested what, that zone, right? And it's also on our moving average, right? So now we're just waiting for our confluence, right? It's right over here. There isn't much of a confluence. Maybe if you had shifted to the 50-minute time frame, right, over here, now this is a confluence because this green candle is a small candle. It's not this. This is showing momentum, right? But this is showing a slowdown in momentum because it's what, it has got a wick to the upside and it is engulfed by this what, by this next red candle over here. So that's when you enter our sell because it's coinciding what, we've got this flip zone and this moving average over here, right? And then for the order block, why did I mean by an order block, right? So over here, as you can see, right, let me just shift this over here, right? So over here, right, so I'm just taking the major structures over here, though, because some may argue that this is also a zone flip over here, right? Though it's, yeah, it is a zone flip, but for making things a little bit simpler, I'm just going to be, just listen to me for a little while, right? So right over here, this is the last low that was created, right? And the market broke past and created what, a higher high, right? So when the market pulls back, right, so it's not pulling back, but it breaks this structure over here, right? We will be anticipating that the market pulls back and what, respects this level over here, but as you can see, it broke past that level, right? Though we could have entered over here, but it kept on breaking that level, right? So the next green candle that we'll be looking for is this green candle over here, right? That's what we'll be marking as our order block, right? So that's what I meant by what, by an order block, right? So right over here, we just mark this order block over here from the highest point to the lowest point, then you drag it to the right, right? So over here, it pulls back over here, and the pullbacks that have got a consolidating manner, just like this one, those are the best pullbacks. Those are the pullbacks that I like, right? It gives more confluence, right? So it's pulling back, showing that the market is able to push up, it isn't able to spike just like these continuous spikes over here, right? It's giving green candle, red, 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 green candle, red, 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 green, red, 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 right? So this is a slowdown in momentum. As you can see, this is also a similar pattern over here, right? Is green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, right? It's giving, this is a flag pattern over here. So the flag and the wedges, if they are also in your pullback, that's a green light, guys. That's a very green light, right? So that's what we'll be using. You can also enter for our spikes, right? As you can see over here, something like over here, right? We've got a break in market structure right over here, right? After that break in market structure, we've got a pullback to this flip zone over here, right? And we're also testing our 50 moving average. Those are the best, right? But if it's pulling back to our order blocks, most of the times it breaks past this 50 moving average. Maybe we have to use the 200 moving average, but just for the sake of this video, we'll just be entering using what, the flip zones, right? But for the order blocks, you can just enter as it is if the pullback is in a consolidating manner, right? That's how you use this strategy. It's very simple, guys. And I'm sure that if you try this out on demo, right, and practice risk management, that's the only way to grow a small account, right? So this over here again, right over here is a triple confluence of actually, right? Because this is a flip zone over here, this is a zone flip, sorry, right? So over here, this is the last point, right? The market breaks that support over here, right? The broken support becomes a resistance. When the market pulls back over here, it creates what, it creates a flag, our wedge pattern like, right? And over here also is an order block here because this is the last green candle before the breaking market structure. So that's our double confluence plus the moving average plus the zone flip plus the consolidating manner. This is actually the best trade that you can get, right? And right over here again, we've got what, breaking market structure to the upside. The market pulls back to this flip zone over here, and this it's also pulling back to the 50 moving average, right? So that's just what you have to look for, and make sure that you practice risk management so that you get chances to enter more trades than like just when you get hit by one spike and the account is blown and you keep seeing multiple opportunities that you could have entered in order to make profit, right? So practice risk management and you'll be able to grow that small account. And give me feedback if you've been able to grow that small account. And if you want more strategies that can help you grow your small account, check out the videos on this channel, and I'm sure that you'll be able to grow those small accounts, right? So that's